Welcome to the Money Down. Back again with another episode.
Yes, sir.
Tuning in once again. If you haven't already, make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on all social networks. Get with us. Man, draft is tomorrow as we're recording right now. Pretty crazy. I feel like the draft sneaks up on me almost every year, but that's the NFL. There's always something in the media. I like what we talked about last week. Diana Russini, Mike Vrabel, that whole situation that was going on. Mike Vrabel spoke to the media yesterday, I believe it was, and pretty much he addressed the team. He let them know what it was. I mean, he said he talks about, being accountable to the team, being accountable to your teammates. And he said, if I'm the one preaching it, I got to hold myself to that same standard. So, I mean, to me, I didn't think he necessarily had to address it, but I get it for him. He wants to look. I mean, they had a situation last offseason with, Diggs and whatnot, the offseason, that now it's Mike Vrabel this offseason with something going on. But it's probably good that he did address it. Like I said, the team probably appreciated it. Obviously, it was catching wildfire. I mean, still stuff popping up almost every day about it. I mean, I'm glad he said something, kind of sweep it under the rug for Diana. I don't know how that situation unfolds for her as far as her career going forward. I mean, like I said, I have my own thoughts about her personally, but I keep those thoughts to myself. I don't know what y'all thoughts on the situation.
I mean, like you said, you said it. Coach stepping out in front of it and addressing it, right? He probably didn't have to, but I mean, elephant in the room, right? And it was everywhere. He was gonna get asked questions about it in the media, and he had the perfect opportunity, and he did it, right? He step in front of everything and just own up to it, right? You got to have a lot of tough conversations with a lot of people that matter to you in your life. And the biggest thing is, I think when you can take accountability and you can take ownership in the mistakes, because we are human, right? We're going to make mistakes. We can take ownership in it and, address it with, everybody at home, address it with, the guys in like you said, you preaching it, you gotta back it up too. So being able to address it in the locker room, I'm sure the guys, rally behind him and all are on his side. Like I said, just a little bump in the road, and now that you're in front of it, man, let's get the football, right? You got the draft coming up. You got some things and some decisions that you got to make. And I think, right, like him stepping in front of it was the best situation or option for this thing that they're going through right now.
No, for sure, I agree with that. I mean, you think you let it ride, and that's the only thing that they talk about for the next few months, going into camp, going into the season, and the fact that he, obviously being a former player, knowing how that can affect the locker room, and now being a head coach, being able to get out in front of it, talk to the team, apologize for bringing the buzz around. Again, he didn't have to do it, but he probably didn't have to do it, but that just shows how good of a head coach he is, and him knowing his situation as a being a former player too, just knowing like that stuff can be a distraction, and so I think he did the right thing and took care of it as soon as it needed to be taken care of.
No, for sure, 100%.
Hey, so I was seeing something on Twitter, right, and I think they said they tried to do everything as possible to keep this from hitting the news frame, right? What would y'all boys like if you had to pay something? What would be the number, bro? Like,
I mean,
$2.50.
$2.
Right. Think about that. That thing gonna be never ending. That thing gonna be never ending, boy. You gonna give people something?
I'm just seeing it on Twitter, and I'm just like, damn, because it's causing a lot of harm to, right? I won't say causing a lot of harm to people, but
it is.
You had several people lose their jobs, right? Diana obviously lost her job. Now you got people that's in the media, speaking up on the matter. Some of those people have lost their job. Your head coaches now, or the person that's running your organization, I was not the owner, but the head coach of your team, he in a sticky situation. So when I seen it, it was just like I think they knew that this was coming, but it was one of those things like how much do you, right? If I have to, go along with this, like how much is somebody gonna pay? So that's why I was just wanting to ask y'all boys, if it was a number, what number would you?
I think that's a great question, but I also think like you start, bro, that's extortion, bro.
Oh, for sure.
You start giving people money now. Somebody else gonna lie about some shit like 2 years down the road. Oh, he did this and he did that, and now you got to try to again, and it could be a false accusation, but since you had this last allegation out there and you've been caught, like somebody gonna believe it. So
True.
He paid me. He tried to pay me off.
Yeah, bro. You might as well face that head on, nip it at the bud. Take it on the chin, no diddy, and move about your life.
Sure. Yeah. For sure.
No, it's a tough spot to be in. It is dangerous to start paying people because, like I said, that's almost a never ending thing to me. You may pay them this time, and people get down bad, and by about a month or two, like, hey,
I need more.
I'm gonna tell something else.
I need to re-up, man. I ran through that, so it's definitely a slippery slope when it comes to that.
People greedy.
Along the same lines, now a previous head coach, Mike Tomlin. Obviously, he mutually parted ways with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but now he'll be joining NBC in studio. What's y'all thoughts on that? I think it's great, dope. Man. Obviously,
for sure.
Every week he had stellar quotes in the media dropping, some big words and this and that nature. So I think it's a good landing spot for him. Look, maybe it may just be for a year, maybe multiple years. I don't know. I think he's a good head football coach. Kind of step away, get to analyze the game. Like I said, I think it's going to be awesome. I know guys like I think Tony Dungy kind of got
Tony Dungy
been doing it.
Jason Garrett, right? Is it Jason Garrett?
Yeah, some of the head coaches stepping in. So it's always good to get that perspective because they've been through it in pressure situations, big time moments, Super Bowls, and all of that. So I'm excited to see him join NBC. I don't know what y'all thoughts on it.
No, I think it's a good move. I love hearing, coaches' perspectives, former players' perspectives. Like, don't get me wrong, it's some really good commentators. It's some really good analysts out there and commentators and things like that on NBC and ABC, things so on and so forth, ESPN. But just sometimes you love to hear from people that's been in it, right? People that have coached for a long time or people that have, played for a long time. It's just a different perspective. And I know, for us as players, we love hearing, somebody's perspective that's been in it. Because sometimes you get some off the wall takes from people that ain't never coached, played the game, so on and so forth. And again, respect to them because, they make their hay doing it. But, it's nice, especially Mike Tomlin and the type of, charisma he brings and the type of character he is and all that stuff and how the players talk about him and love being around him. Like excited to, see him talking about other teams and talking about week to week. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's super dope. And I think it falls along the lines of like, we getting Hall of Fame coaches, right? Not just, any regular head coach. We're getting Hall of Fame coaches stepping into the booths or on in the studio and being able to critique and analyze the game that we all love. I look at like Bill Belichick and even like Nick Saban, for an example. Those two guys have been like strict by the books, straightforward, can't get them to smile, crack a smile, none of that stuff. And when they got into the studio, it's like, bro, I actually enjoy hearing Nick Saban talk about ball on College Game Day. And then when Bill was there for a little bit, right, like he brought a whole different side that I'm sure a lot of people, maybe James and people in New England knew, but just like he really talked. Like he cool. You know what I'm saying? So, Mike T has already, right, you mentioned like him having the legendary quotes and, slick things to say about opponent teams that he was going to face. So I think it's going to be super cool just to see that type of like style and his personality that he brings to the studio, right? And you can also learn some ball because we're talking about a coach that, right, played in, coached in 2 Super Bowls, and also just has so much knowledge that we can continue to get these fans to learn more than just, like you said, Warren, listening to some people say some stuff that don't, right? Like, you got a job, but it really don't fall into the lines of back up what somebody that's actually been in the building and in it would go along and say with.
No, you guys brought up some great points. You definitely get to hear and see, him in a different perspective, in a different light. versus him being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he may be a little bit more loose. He may maybe say a little bit more slick stuff. You never really know what's going to come out of some of these legendary coaches' mouth. Because even seeing Nick Saban on College Game Day, like seeing some of his personality, hearing some of the things that he says, I see you get to see these guys in a different light, and they really get to be themselves. Because really, a lot of times when you see these coaches in front of the media, they don't really get to be themselves because they gotta, they kind of have to guard up, only can say so much, don't want to do too much. So now you kind of get that weight off your shoulders and you kind of speak how you want. Obviously, there's some guardrails when it comes to that, but I'm excited for Mike Tomlin. I think it'll be good for him, and I'm sure there's gonna be teams calling him, after this season, whether it's NFL, college, to see if he's still interested in, coaching football, which I'm sure he is. I'm sure he wants to get back to it after this year. All right, we got NFL draft, which will be coming up tomorrow. So, y'all got any bold predictions for what's going on? I mean, I honestly don't have any big predictions for this, man. I think I want to see a running back go top 5, and what's Jeremiah Love. I think he has the potential to do that. There's some teams that need a running back early on, which I think he very well has the talent, the skill, and the ability to be one of the. Because I think he's one of the best overall players in this draft. So him going top 5 isn't really a bold prediction in my opinion, but I think he deserves it. Teams like the Cardinals, and even the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I know they got Tajay Spears. They got my guy. Oh my goodness,
Tony Pollard,
who's a good player too, but. There's some new juice getting in that building with Brian Daboll, with Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley coming back off injury. So you add another weapon to that offense, man. I think that'd be dangerous.
And you know what, bro? As you say that, I don't. In recent years, any top 5 backs or any top 10 backs that's been drafted, I don't think it's been any bust.
No,
because Bijan went top. What?
I think he went top 10. They might.
Bijan, I'm sure Bijan went top 10, and then even just going back to like Leonard Fournette, good back. Zeke, good back.
Like Todd Gurley, I think he went top.
Todd Gurley.
PG, like I mean, I'm just trying to think of backs. I'm just trying to think of backs that have gone in the top, 10 or even top 15. Like I don't really think that none of them have been busts, right? Like maybe not a long career or whatever the case may be, but them first couple years when they got
your money's worth,
they got it. You got his money's worth, right? So I could definitely see that. My prediction, I don't really think it's gonna, but I've been seeing a lot of trade rumors around Kyle Pitts, right? I seen Kansas City made a call. I know the whole contract situation thing is kind of right. I know he got tagged, but a lot of these players these days don't want to play under the tag. So I just see like a big trade with somebody coming along, even with Dallas and going blank on the receiver with GP, right? Like I think they came out and said, we ain't paying him this year. He gonna play under the 1 year, and it's just like we know how crazy that motherfucker is. Is he gonna be cool with it or not? Right? On top of his agent having some friction with Jerry with the whole Michael with the Parsons deal the previous year before, right? So I just see a big trade happening from some team. I don't know who, and I think it's gonna be good for ball. So I just hope something come across that ticker where somebody trade out and we could see a value and a good player on the move somewhere in a new location.
Yeah. It's not a bold prediction, but kind of I would like to see. I've been reading some saying, and it's been around for a while. Ruben Bain, right, one of the best pass rushers in the draft, and people criticizing his arm length and things like that. Some people have him falling within top 5. Some people have him falling outside the top 5. Like I'd really like to see him go top 5. We talked about it last episode about how much potential weighs against putting stuff on tape, against production. And he's produced every year he's been at Miami. The man is a dog. So like, I think he deserves top 5, I think he deserves to be a top 5 pick with what he's been able to put on tape. Last year wreaked a lot of havoc against some of the best offensive linemen that are in the draft this year, and projections. So in a big time conference, it's hard to do it week in and week out, and yet he gets the job done. So that's a guy that outside of whatever you think his arm length may be or how you think it helps him or not, like it's a guy that has played against longer armed offensive linemen and still won one-on-one matchups, double teams, so on and so forth. The man he was unstoppable in college. You got to give him an opportunity.
Yeah,
and I think he deserves top 5.
You know they got to make a story up more.
Yeah,
bro. But the thing is, like, this is where I go back to like the analysts, right? Sometimes where they say like stupid junk, like you know, like when you go on the NFL Combine or whatever, and when they post all their profiles and you got the pros and cons, and like sometimes the cons that all that junk be answered on film if you just watch it. Like, oh, he get short arms, get dwarfed at the point of contact. Like, boy, he been taking on double teams and clogging offensive line all year. What are you talking about? So, like, this is one of those things of like, man, just let the man do his thing and let his tape talk for him.
Like, bro, he's for sure been that player when you walk in that meeting on Monday or college Monday in the league, Wednesday or something. They for sure circling him, like
circling your name.
He the one that we got to worry about and stop, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you get to this point where it's time to move on from college to the league, and now we talking about his arms being too short. But it just always killed me around this time because it's like the analysts that are making some of these, making like. And Todd McShay is good at what he do, right? And I'm not saying Todd McShay has said this, but what can Todd McShay tell me about or tell you, Warren, about getting off the edge or beating this technique or just for a corner, for example? Because I know y'all got all type of gap.
Nathaniel.
Exactly, bro.
Nothing.
So it just always throw me. Now, we had, like, I've been seeing Gerald McCoy talk about it.
Yeah.
And he said his arms are short.
Yeah.
Right. I can respect that. Now, although I say, right, man, cut the film on, let them play. But when you have people that have actually done this at a really, really high level, or just even at a collegiate level, it's just like, okay, I can respect their opinion on it. Now I got to cut the film on and do an honest, get an honest opinion about it. But some of these analysts, man, cut it out, bro. You ain't never had to guard no post route, no, you ain't never had to guard no post corner, no double move.
He lacks straight line burst out of it, bro. He can't come out of his cut, out of his breaks. And that motherfucker just went for 50 on a slant. What are you talking about?
You get your ass out there and try and guard him or run that dig route.
So like Rich Eisen in the 40. No offense, Rich.
So brought up draft trades. We did have a trade happen the other day. Dexter Lawrence got traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for the 10th overall pick from the New York Giants. Or from the Cincinnati Bengals. He got traded from the New York Giants to the Cincinnati Bengals for their 10th overall pick. Do y'all think that was a fair trade? Too much? Like, didn't have the whatever the greatest year statistically last year is what they say. But what's y'all thoughts on the trade?
I mean, dude, I think it's a good trade for Cincy, bro. I mean, bro, they need it. Their defense was missing last year, bro. And with what Dexter Lawrence is able to do, what he's been able to do, bro, he can cover for some linebacker mistakes now. I mean, the man in the middle, the man is a ball player. Now, he can be a true nose, he can be a shade, he can play the 3. I mean, he's very multifaceted, right? You can put him anywhere across the line, and he's somebody you got to circle. He's somebody you got to double team at all times. So I think that's going to help their linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Get free a lot more, make more plays in space. Obviously, they don't have Luke Wilson anymore. We'll figure out who takes that spot in the middle. But losing Trey Hendrickson, you got to have a presence up front at least, right? Like we talked about how important Trey Hendrickson was to the Bengals pass rush, even stopping the run. He was just a gritty player and led the league in sacks down there every year, right? Just not loud about it, things like that, things you wouldn't even realize. But Dexter Lawrence, I think, can cover for some of those mistakes. They were terrible against the run last year. I think Dexter Lawrence can help you answer that question. Now you got to get other pieces around him, but I think he answers a big question for you, not only on the interior, but even helping out your linebackers, especially if they coming in young. He's a guy that can help you make up a lot of those mistakes.
Yeah, like I don't think it was a bad trade, but I just look at it from like, you gave up a first-round pick for an older player, and don't get me wrong, D-Law is one of the best players at what he do, right? Like, I mean, before last year was a down year, didn't have the numbers that he's been producing previously before. But before last year, I mean, you're talking about him and shit, pretty much like Chris Jones being those game records at that position. And I just think for Cincinnati, bro, they're so bad on defense that it's like, of course, this move helps, but you just talked about it, Warren. You also lost Trey Hand to a team in division, and then it's like you replace it with a first round, pretty much your first round pick of this year's draft because you traded your first round pick away to a player that, don't get me wrong, can help out a lot, but it's so bad in so many other positions and areas. I just don't think it right? Like, it don't elevate your team to where you feel like, all right, now we could potentially be in playoff contention because our defense has gotten that much better.
But I don't think that first round pick would have done that either, because you said it yourself, right? You can always go get a guy in the first round, but who knows how he's going to pan out, right? And it could take him a couple of years. So who knows what that 10th round pick even does? Now you could use that 10th round pick, trade back, get a couple extra picks to try to bring in more younger players, but I just think like having another veteran presence on that front seven, like a Dexter Lawrence, and again, yeah, from a number standpoint, he had a down year last year. At least, I hate to say, like, especially for interior linemen, right? They had a down year because it's so much that they do that people don't talk about, right? Like, you take up 2 blockers, sometimes you take up 3 blockers, and maybe they did that a lot more this year because of who he is and his presence as compared to previous years, right? So I don't like saying like, oh, a guy had a down year, right? Statistically, from a number standpoint, maybe, but he did so much for that New York Giants defense, and I think it's only going to translate over to Cincinnati, as long as they're using him properly, getting him in when he needs to, and also keeping him healthy. I mean, that's another thing. You get a guy that, he's older, but he hasn't faced a lot of injury. Like, he's not a guy that spends a lot of time off the field. So, I mean, do I think the trade was worth it? Yes. Do I think it helps him? Yes. Do I think they still need other pieces around him? 1,000%. So they have to figure that part out. I mean, you really can't just bring in Dexter Lawrence and expect him to answer all your questions, to your point, like 1,000%. But does he help? Yes.
And I'm more so shocked that the Giants gave him up. And I mean, I guess they might be in a rebuild stage, right? Where you kind of know, like, bro, no matter what we do, we're not going to really be too good, because I feel like, right, even though everybody been talking about Dexter Lawrence having a down year, I think he freed up, like, Burns is Burns. Burns is going, right? Like, he's always been an elite pass rusher. But at the same time, having to figure out and take on 2 blockers, gonna give Burns or Dual Carter or what's the other guy?
Kayvon
Thibodeau. That's gonna give them one-on-ones. Now I'm just interested to see how offenses are gonna game plan for that, because hell, now we ain't got to work. I mean, I'm sure they probably got somebody young that they probably feel that they can develop and get right and probably take on some of the responsibilities. But now we're going to see, because I'm sending all them double teams and chip block. I'm sending everything at Burns, and the other 2 going to have to show me, right? Like, I mean, Abdul Carter, going to be a good player, was young last year, had some situations going on while he's playing, I mean, in the locker room, X, Y, and Z. We know we know he good, but it's kind of like he was in trade talks too, right? Like, if they were going to keep him or they was going to trade him. So now I just think I would assume that the Giants would have tried to keep that pass rush in that front 4, or that rotating 5, or how many guys they have in rotation. I would have thought that they would have tried to keep them. But I mean, it's a good trade for them. You get a first round pick, I'm sure. So now you got 2 firsts. You can go out there, and that's technically those teams that got 2 ones kind of change their team from that draft. So
I think it's good on both sides. I do think it's a good trade for Cincinnati. You get a guy in the interior of that defense who can literally wreck the game as a pass rusher, as a run stopper. Like, when he's healthy, when he's on fire, it definitely shifts the defense. They do need more pieces. But I say, when it comes to drafting players, every draft pick, whether you're the first overall pick or last draft pick, you're a question mark. I don't know how you're gonna perform once I get you there. So to me, in the situation of what Cincinnati's in with Zach Taylor, I mean, I ain't gonna say like he on the hot seat, but the eyes on him now. The eyes on. So I'm looking to get players that I figure I know what I'm gonna get from them. So I'm gonna go get a Dexter Lawrence. I know they did have Trey Henderson, but he was obviously had the contract situation that he got hurt, so he wasn't available last season for real. So that I can understand why they didn't keep him. He let him walk and go sign with a different team. Unfortunately, it's in your division, so I'm sure he's gonna be on 10 when they play against each other. But hey, you got you a guy that can make a huge difference for your defense. Now you go draft some guys in this second, third, fourth round that hopefully they can find a role on your defense, and hopefully you have guys on your current roster that a la a Dexter Lawrence could take some pressure off, and they can go out there and thrive. Because you still got Shamar Stewart, he drafted last year, who still has potential. I mean, as we said, potential, but he got to show up. But this takes some pressure off of him. Like, go get you an interior threat, and hey, now he sees a lot more single blocks, and look, you go out there and try and do your thing.
But he was seeing so that's kind of why not pay Trey Henderson? Like, why not pay him?
I mean, a good thing they didn't though, because he got hurt and missed a bunch of time last year. So I mean, it's probably a good thing they didn't.
Yeah, because I mean,
hindsight between they didn't know that was going to happen, but.
But also, I don't know if you let them walk in division. No.
Yeah,
I think when division start talking, bro,
control that.
Now you can't control that.
You can't.
I just don't let them walk. I don't let them walk regardless.
My fault.
Because your first round pick from the year before, like you said, it's all off potential. Like I don't think he had a first round, and I ain't trying to talk bad about him, but he ain't have a first round year. So we banking on him. Hopefully this offseason that he was in his berth and he come back. He was seeing single blocks last year because everybody was trying to worry about stopping or trying to figure out how we gonna stop
sliding the Trey Henderson.
Right.
Trey missed a bunch of games last year.
And they still got a shot year regardless, bro. Yeah. Joe out. I mean, don't get me wrong. They had a little surge with Joe Flacco coming in and probably feeling like they could have won some games, but they wasn't. It was too late when Joe Burrow went out.
Yeah, man. We'll see, man. We're in that division, so hey, might as well bring this up. Talk about Zay Flowers. He had some comments and some thoughts about the way his former head coach, John Harbaugh, I should say, ran his practices in Baltimore.
Y'all was tackling down there in practice? Y'all was tackling in practice?
Bro, we full pads.
I'll be real. I ain't with that.
The NFLPA on the line. How many practice pads you can get?
Yeah.
Or you getting them?
Every
single one.
100%. Jesus.
Bro, we doing one-on-ones week 17.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Right. Why my ankle hurt.
Week 17.
I mean, look, as a person,
I know you.
Hey, I know all about that, my boy. Hey,
Lord.
So I mean, there's different methods to winning. I mean, some teams, look, you probably out of shoulder pads. Week 8, you probably only get back in them for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, John Harbaugh's older school head coach, has done it a certain way for a long time, has had a ton of success. I mean, his team's always in the playoffs. So I mean, I wouldn't change my ways neither. I'm used to doing it a certain way. I like Bill Belichick. I will say, like, throughout my years, like, he would start to kind of get a feel for how players, felt or how many guys we had healthy, and we would shift things a little bit. Like in 2015, like before our AFC Championship against Denver Broncos, we did a straight walkthroughs all week because we had so many guys banged up. So he would adjust. But if guys are healthy, oh yeah, them one-on-ones, we tackling, we doing our normal deal. And I mean, that's football. That's the way we grew up. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
We in the NFL. We're professionals. We want to take it a little bit lighter at times. I get it. I'm the same way. I would love to be, in spider pads every single day because we know how to practice. We know how to work. We know how to get that work in. But hey, he the coach. He feel like that's what y'all needed. If it worked, it worked. At the end of the day, they did have injuries and whatnot, and he's claiming. I will say it later on in the clips and stuff. He did say like he's appreciative of of him. Like he had him prepared and all that stuff. He learned a ton from him, but most guys are going to complain in the NFL when it comes to that style of practicing. Come week 17, week 16, you still thumping. You still got pads on.
I ain't gonna lie, it's cold and be more too. And John, is it John? Yeah, John. John old school. He got them boys outside. So I know, you know what I'm saying. But I will say this though, bro. We know Mel was there a couple years ago, and Mel, even when I spent my time in Cincinnati. I had some players that came from Baltimore to Cincinnati, and they said, boy, them boys weight room, outside practice, them boys working, them boys hitting week 5, week 7, 15, whatever the case may, whatever week deep in the season, hey, the boys in pads, and it ain't the boys, like you said, one-on-ones lining up. So, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that worked for them. I mean, he's had a successful track record, right? Like of course these past couple years, and we know how hard it is to get in the playoffs and be successful and get to the Super Bowl. We know all that is just who hit a stretch where they the healthiest and who can hit, who can hit the ground running in the playoffs. It just so happened to be these last couple seasons, especially last year, right? They was banged up. The quarterback banged up, right? L was not 100%. So I just think it's a matter of, everybody having their different methods and coaching styles. Now I do feel them, man. Week 14, 15, whatever them later in this, bro, you don't need to be in pads doing one-on-ones, but some players need the looks, right? Like I've seen Lieb come out and say, right, he need to be able to feel the routes as far as the game speed. So you got to respect everybody have different ways of how they prepare, how they going to play.
Man,
and at receiver too, bro, you don't kind of need to, at receiver, but I got a 15-yard dig. I've been running this the past 4 months, right? Like,
nah, you said what you just said kind of might have changed my thought a little bit, but I think if they've been having success with it, right? What's broke, don't fix. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? And again, this last year, like you said, there were a lot of injuries, so I do think it's smart to taper the practices, right? Take them out. Your starting quarterback is hurt for one, right? Taper back practices a little bit. Let everybody get healthy again, and when everybody's moving and shaking and whatnot, then you can get back into pads. But I don't. You're in one of the most physical divisions in the NFL. Like, don't get me wrong, all divisions are physical, but that Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincy just division. There's something about it where it's just a physical, ground and pound type of division. And so I just
them rough states, bro.
You
been to Pittsburgh.
Rough states.
Pittsburgh look like Gotham, fam.
That stadium,
it's just one of them. It's just one of them divisions. You just don't want to let up, right? Because I feel like it's a mentality thing in that division.
I feel like he probably thought that was their edge. Like, look, I'm sure Bill's the same type of deal. Like, this our edge. Like, ain't nobody else doing this right now. But we out here getting it. Like, we gonna be prepared on Sunday. They over there, playing tag and all that stuff there in practice. We out here, we getting these fits. I mean, even still, it's only one. Especially now, they can only practice in pads one day a week. I'm pretty sure. So it ain't like. It's Thursday and Friday. They got pads on. I'm pretty sure you can only practice in pads on Wednesday. So it ain't even really, you know what I'm saying? And then again, look, it's essentially. I mean, I don't know how they get. I know Mel said they really be hitting in practice, but you kind of got an understanding from offense, defense, like how to practice. Like, y'all not teeing off on each other now. It's just
facts.
I mean, look, I don't know. I was not there. I'm not there, so I don't know. But I would assume y'all not. Them dudes not, full.
It's just heavy thud. Heavy thud.
So y'all not Oklahoma drilling.
I'm gonna say this, Brody. I'm gonna say this. One, fam, them boys. You know how NFL is, bro. Especially again, y'all. It was probably different for y'all in New England. But these other teams, bro, them boys throw, man. You might have somebody coming in where linebacker, whoever, Raekwon had a tough week or something. And he probably just tripping. Like, man, we ain't supposed to be fitting like this, but he just on one today. And then too, bro, I know you said it's one pad practice per week, right? Because you get a certain amount of, but bro, week 7, week 8, you sitting at like 6-5 or 7-8. You on the cusp of like, bro, we might make the playoffs, we might not. Like, we gotta win all these games. That one practice probably feel like 3 or 4. You period like 18, you like, man, they only got about 2 more periods out of me, dog. Where it's like I'm a legit be with it. So I feel them though, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I feel them. Like I said, I be on the fence all the time about that type of stuff. Especially, you be like, dang, we got the pads on again. Like it's 20 degrees outside.
I said that shit cold,
like,
bro.
I gotta put my hoodie on underneath all this stuff, my sweatpants with the pads on. So I get it 100%. I get what he's saying, but like I said, every coach has their own style, and they gonna do what works for them. A lot of them, they not gonna steer different. They gonna stick to the script. But we had another receiver make some comments to the media this past week. We had Justin Jefferson. He was asked about the addition of Kyler Murray to the QB room, and I'll let y'all hear what he had to say.
Yeah, my first reaction was just, it's really good to kind of get some good talent in the room to kind of give a little spark in that room, to kind of see a competitive edge and from those guys to really lock in and to, do what we're expecting them to do, which is to come in and, to be that guy. And, we need that one guy for this team. So I'm definitely.
Y'all think they take a little jab, or he just saying it's gonna be a good competition? Like, which
Cause deep down we really know what he mean. You feel me? So
do we though?
Nah, we do, bro. Like, let's just call it what it is. The quarterback sucked last year. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, I agree with you. That everything he said in that interview, I agree with. I just think, bro, now we got to come to work every day, and I got to see you too. It's just like, damn, Jettas, you ain't gotta, But it's the league, bro. Especially the star of the team, he gonna say whatever the hell he want, and it ain't really no repercussions or no consequences.
If you think about it, it was really only year 1, like year 2, but in year 1, like get a man some grace, man. Let him grow, let him figure it out. We done seen plenty of talented quarterbacks coming out the draft year 1 and fall flat on good teams too sometimes. So it's like this truly, man, year 1, he tore, what was it, his Achilles or
tore it up,
ACL, something like that, tore it up year 1. So really he didn't get a lot of plans. He didn't get a lot of play, right? So now he got a good amount of time in the second season. Now he know that he adjusting to the speed of the game, coming off of injury, things like that. So let's see what he does in camp. Let him compete, things like that. But we for sure knew what Jettas was saying.
Oh yeah,
he want Kyler to come in and be the guy. They want a guy, and Kyler again is proven. But now that you say that, hey, that put Kyler on the spot. We can't have Call of Duty Kyler now at the helm. That's all I'm saying. We can't have
Kyler's
Fortnite
starting
Kyler,
for sure, bro.
Fam.
Kyler is the starting quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings this year.
Hey man, they're gonna be heavy on that playbook time.
He's the starting quarterback this year. He's the starting quarterback this year because 18 ain't happy, fam. And 18. Y'all boys know, bro. It's certain players and certain organizations that, fam, what they say go. You know what I'm saying? And I think if is it, I'm going blank on his name, the quarterback from last year,
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy. So if JJ was to start this year, you can already see it. Last year, Jettas was hitting to the point where it's like when you in the game and he throw a duck and you like. You know what I'm saying? You fam, you ain't get
if McCarthy is starting this year, bro. If McCarthy is starting this year, it's because he made leaps and bounds in the offseason, bro. He was in his bag. If he's McCarthy of last year, that fool is not starting.
But I think even if he have a good, I think if he even had a good offseason, bro, he's not starting, fam.
Why?
No, bro.
If he has a good offseason, you
The
build that
people in that
relationship.
bro, y'all boys know the people in that locker room probably want different. Like, again, we talking about a team. Talking about I agree. I'm not saying. I think that's the problem. And like even TB12 was talking about it, right? Like we got too many young quarterbacks stepping in and having to be the front of a carry a team.
That's for sure.
And we talking about a team that I want to say was the year that he didn't get hurt or something. They were like a 1 seed or something 1 year, like or a 2 seed. I want to say 2 years ago they went like 14.
But he was injured.
Yeah,
right. But what I'm saying,
they had a vet quarterback though. They had a veteran quarterback.
But what I'm saying is, fam, is with Sam Darnold. But what I'm saying is when you get to that point, and I'm sure James can talk about it. Like when you kind of, I don't think it's fair. You can't say James because New England they've been winning out. But when you get to a point where you feel like, all right, bro, we 1 or 2 pieces away. Like we just was the 1 seed or the 2 seed was 14-3 or something. We right there. Like we got a good defense. We got the pieces on offense, right? All we now need is for our quarterback to come in and just play good ball and we can handle the rest. And when that quarterback does that and it doesn't work out, you got people that's like, bro, I ain't got that much longer. Jettas, I'm sure, feel like, man, shit, if this ain't working out, I can pull an AJ Brown and get traded and go somewhere and be in a better situation, right? So it's just so much going on internally that I just feel like, bro, it was bad. It was too bad last year, fam. I feel like, bro, they gonna K1 starting, bro. I'm telling you.
I hear you on that, and I agree with you. I do think K1 starts the season this upcoming season, but I just you talk right. TB12 talked about the development aspect. He talked about guys. Too many young guys getting thrown in and having to be the guy for these franchises, right? But you want JJ to develop behind Kyler? Like, not saying that Kyler can't be a good quarterback to develop behind, but I just don't know if he's that. If he's the mentor type.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that's on the organization, though, bro.
So what are you doing with McCarthy at this point? I mean, if he's not developing, because you think about quarterbacks that have had success, they developed against Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks.
That ain't on Kyler.
That ain't on Kyler, and that's they want the GM fired.
It's not on Kyler. It's not on Kyler.
I don't know if they let him go.
It's not on Kyler, but like
they got a new GM.
Yeah, because the dude. Question.
Yeah, like they. Bro, that's on the org, bro, and I think when we look at the teams of the quarterbacks that have been able to develop, like think about Tom. We talk about Tom. Tom had Drew Bledsoe there, and Drew was a good quarterback, right? Like
for sure,
good quarterback. Even Jordan Love, like, bro, you sitting behind, in a lot of people's opinion, like the GOAT. You sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, right? So you had a chance.
For Aaron Rodgers when he was sitting behind Brett Favre.
He was sitting behind Brett Favre. Like these are quarterbacks that got a chance to sit behind legendary quarterbacks or good quarterbacks that the organization said it like that. This on Minnesota. Minnesota, you decided to draft this kid out of Michigan, which, I mean, honestly, like he was good, but it was like that potential word we talked about last week.
Yeah. That was potential for sure.
That was potential.
That was potential.
Because you probably feel like your head coach who has a background of being a quarterback guru or can fix quarterbacks. No. I mean, it just didn't work out year one.
Yeah. You got the tools. Just she probably shouldn't have had to start last year. That's all it was. They just needed to bring in another veteran a la like a Sam Darnold to compete with him. You know, they shouldn't have. They
compete with him and let him develop. Yeah, because what you're doing right now is you're having him compete, but he's not about to develop behind Kyler.
I mean he can.
I mean, he could, and he could.
I think about it, bro. JJ can't, bro. The guy we let go for you went to Seattle and won the bowl. Oh yeah, nah, bro. You play how you play, bro. You ain't got no wiggle room, fam. In the star receiver.
In my second year,
but like you said, that's that ain't on JJ. That's on the office, bro. The office is what got rid of Sam Darnold.
The star receiver been taking jabs all off season. Like this ain't his first comment. He done said something before.
But that ain't on JJ though, fam. Yeah, obviously, JJ got to be the guy being quarterback. But who got rid of Sam? It wasn't JJ.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this too. This is my last thing with this. If Jettas feel like that, Oh, it's way more people in that locker room that feel that way, bro.
But
So it's just bad. I gotta go to work every day. These motherfuckers really don't like me, bro. Like they really taking shots at the end
This
of
boy
me.
JJ about to tap in.
yeah,
Watch.
I will say, Kyler probably has the upper hand, but I say don't count JJ out though, man. Look, Kyler ain't really. I think he has all the arm talent in the world, but he ain't really playing like this type system. This is quarterback friendly or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
But he ain't ever playing like this type of system for real. He does have better arm talent and everything else than JJ McCarthy, and he's been in the game, which gives him a way upper hand than JJ. But I would say don't count him completely out. Obviously he had a year in the system, didn't go pretty. Like, yeah, he had some little games where you like, okay, like you see a little something, then that's spiral for a little bit. So, we'll see what happens. I do think it's a great landing spot for Kyler. I said if he can play within that system, it's gonna do. He can go bananas for real because his athletic. This man here. Nah, I think he'll be good. He's gonna be motivated. So.
You gotta be.
Yeah,
Dedicated.
I was gonna say, you think? You look at Arizona, bro. Obviously Arizona had a system, but that was a Kyler do your thing type system, bro. That was a
he had so many
Kyler make it happen.
He had so many coaches and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was a Kyler make it happen. Do what you got to do.
The year he had a big time receiver. He had a good year.
He had a good year.
Yeah,
so I honestly think he should be successful, bro. As far as like you got the receiver that's going to demand double teams, that's going to demand a whole bunch of game planning to stop. And then Jordan Addison on the outside, bro, he is really good. Like he kind of give me in the same vibe of Devontae Smith, right? Like, of course,
type deal.
Yeah, like could be a number. I'm not gonna give him the title of being a number one, but like got the potential to if he keeps staying on the track that like he's gonna be somebody that you gotta stop week in and week out. So now everything, even the tight end, like Kyler got the weapons, or even whoever the quarterback is for this team has the weapons.
I was gonna say, and not to mention, Kevin O'Connell, you got an offensive-minded head coach that's gonna put you in the right position.
Yeah.
Or make sure you're in the right position. So I think he's set up for success.
Yeah, they got Jalen Naylor too, dude out of Michigan.
And Jalen Naylor.
He can slide too. He been producing the last couple of years, so we'll see what happens, man. But that's a wrap for the Money Down podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us with another episode. Like I said earlier, if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tune in with us. Follow us on all social medias. We appreciate y'all. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep showing love. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.